Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching a clip from the Sideline podcast. If you're interested in watching the full show, head over to Spotify and whilst you're there, leave a 5-star review. It would be very much appreciated. But for now, enjoy this little segment. As we all know, we've reached that time of year in football when it comes to pre-season. To me, it just seems like a complete waste of time. One of the most pointless things about football. You get injuries for no reason. You get players that are just sometimes don't turn up because they're on international duty. It's just a waste of time. Is that just my opinion, or do you both agree? I'll let Joel, you can input on this one.
I don't think it's a waste of time. I feel like the only waste of time is, like, I went to holiday last week, I saw Chesterfield going to Spain. Why do Chesterfield need to go to Spain for pre-season? Like, I'd do a Warnock, take him to, like, he takes theirs to Cornwall, doesn't he? Like, you're not going to be playing this season in, like, 30-degree weather. Pitches over there are going to be so much better than they are in, like, National League.
But is it better for conditioning?
It wonders, like, because probably, yeah, but I just think it's just a waste of time. I think just
probably,
keep it.
Yeah, it's worth it. Yeah, probably it's worth it, but no.
We've changed his mind as soon as that.
No, I just think going away is not worth it. Like, go to Spain. Why do you need to take Chesterfield to Spain?
It's because I think I like the idea. I think it's to get away from any distractions. So we're not going home to kids or wives or family drama, because footballers are human beings. So I think it's to just get them all away. It's to integrate new signings. So if there is new signings or youngsters coming up, obviously they are locked in there with the senior players.
So with what you're saying, they're holding the players hostage?
No, they have to integrate. They have to pretty much speak to each other. They can't just go home and ignore each other, then come back the next day and do some fitness work. Like, they have to bond.
Yeah.
It's a really important part of building that bond when you're, especially down at the lower leagues like Chesterfield, somewhat a pointless club, but again, I don't want to go into that.
Wow.
But if you're literally down in them divisions, and it's the like start of December and you're playing 3 games a week, you need to have that bond between the players. So getting away from England, getting away from people's homes and the families and all the distractions probably which happen at home, then it's good. It means they have to socialise with each other on the evening because they don't know anybody else there.
Yeah. No, I get that, yeah. I do agree on that. It is a bit of a... I mean, it's happened to us before where we've had like such an important season coming up and we've had so many injuries in pre-season. And I think that is probably the main reason why I dislike it so much, just because of the amount of injuries that happens. But also, like, I've seen on documentaries where Juventus go on pre-season and they tour the world on a pre-season tournament, and people actually, I think it was the time that Ronaldo were there, people actually got to saw Ronaldo around the world in places where he's probably never going to go. Yeah. So to that, I think it is, for me, it is 50-50. I do think it's a waste of time, but then, like you have just said, to bond your players, hold your players hostage, and
to be fair, I've got my opinion's slightly changed on it since the owners have come in. So I know we had like a friendly in Saudi Arabia. We played like 2 games before we came back after the World Cup, and that just seemed pointless. I understood it. It was to get Newcastle United out there. It was to get the owners to show off pretty much the new toy, which I understand that kind of part of it. But I think pre-season is really beneficial in terms of fitness. So going to a foreign country, obviously if you can play 90 minutes in 32-degree heat when you come back here in August to start the season, you're probably going to feel quite comfortable in 20-degree heat. So I understand that part of it. I definitely understand, again, the team bonding side of it in terms of they have to socialise together. Like, how many players, if it was just in England, would go home and just sit with the family and not socialise with any of the new players? It would take longer to get integrated. So them two are massive pros. I don't really understand like going to Australia to play a pre-season friendly because you're travelling for 24 hours. I mean, that can't be good for hamstrings and calves and stuff. But the other side of that, I guess, Newcastle are going to America, aren't they, to grow the American base?
Yeah.
So again, like you said, people get to see Ronaldo. People finally get to see Jacob Murphy. I know there's a big clamour there's a big clamour to see Jacob Murphy in America. It's not like anybody else has went to America recently. So obviously, Murphy's going to be a big star. But I understand the commercial side and the revenue. I mean, Newcastle will probably get, I think they've estimated, is it 28 to 35 million we're going to receive for that tour of America. So that's an extra 35 million pound to bring in. That could be Harvey Barnes. So I don't know. I'm all for it team bonding side, and I'm all for it in terms of like warm weather training. And I don't like it, but I understand why they go to Australia and Singapore and wherever else. You can tell I play Football Manager because I mentioned a Singapore pre-season friendly.
I like as well with pre-season where if it's a new manager coming in, so like we've just appointed Matt Taylor last winter before World Cup, and he didn't have a proper pre-season, and we struggled.
Yep.
But after the international break, but I feel like this season with him coming in, he's going to have full pre-season. He's going to have new players bonded. I feel like that's going to benefit us more in the table than it did last season. But it's just a bonding. I do agree with the bonding now. You've stripped my opinion on that. I think, yeah, you get more time.
I changed everybody's opinion.
He is good at this. I'll give him that.
I just think you're not going to be playing in 32-degree heat. I do, like, yeah, you're probably going to be more.
It makes you more comfortable, doesn't it? If you can play a pre-season friendly against a Spanish team in 32-degree heat, then you come back to play your first home league game in August. It might be 20 degrees. There might be other teams who haven't went away who are, oh my god, this 20-degree heat is like really difficult. And then Chesterfield players will be like, this is nothing. Like, let's take advantage of this. They're going to tie before us. Let's go. But you made a good point about having a manager. So Eddie Howe had his first pre-season with us last season, and look what that did for us. We got fourth. I mean, Eddie Howe did amazing as soon as he came in. Again, said by the number one and the only person who runs the Eddie Howe fan club. But like, his pre-season was huge in terms of how we play now. Because when he first came, we weren't as aggressive as what we are now. I know his first game was 3-3 with Brentford, but then he did go a little bit like a counter-attacking team. Whereas now we're very much on the front foot. I mean, we scored 5 goals in 20 minutes against Tottenham. But, I agree with the manager part. Again, I understand. That's how I should word it. I understand the commercial side of it in terms of going to Australia and America, but I don't like it because I feel like pre-season should be all about the players. But then I guess if you argue, there's probably Newcastle fans in America and Australia who would desperate to see the team, so they probably love that it goes out there on pre-season. So pros and cons, I think, isn't it? I definitely don't think it's a waste of time. I think it is vital. I feel like without it, it would be interesting to see if we could have a team who don't do a pre-season and where they'd finish in the league.
Yeah, compared to
a team who do have a pre-season, that would be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be a good comparison.
Because Warnock takes all his players to Cornwall because he lives down there, which is quite a weird one. But I think that's probably more like, it is bonding down there, but I feel like that's probably more effective for what they're going to be playing in. Do you get what I mean?
You won't get as much money though. Whereas I know who's he managing at the minute? Is it Huddersfield?
Huddersfield, yeah.
Yeah. If Huddersfield went to America, there probably wouldn't be a massive draw. But let's just say Huddersfield went and joined the competition Newcastle playing in. They probably would get quite big gates in American stadiums. They'd probably get more money. But I guess it would cost a team like Huddersfield more to fly out there. So it mustn't be financially worthy. I feel like the days of the manager deciding are pretty much gone. I think Warnock's quite lucky where he's quite old. I feel like now it'll be all down to the owners. I feel like we'll definitely do a Saudi Arabia tour next year because of all the superstars who have went there. And the American tour is mainly, again, we want to grow. We want to get more shirt sales in America, don't we? Because it's dominated by Man United, Arsenal, Man City.
Everton.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, anyone listening, if you've seen the YouTube short, I did not mean to pick Everton over Liverpool, obviously.
No, it did. It just got a little bit of backlash and he don't like it, so he's changed his mind. He fully went with it. Like, he's an happy man. Do you know what I mean? He's an happy man. He changes my mind on opinions. I've changed his mind on Everton are bigger than Newcastle. As sure.
I love backlash.
So anyway, Joel, just quickly, would you sum up? Would you say pre-season's a waste of time?
I'll say no. But I just think, well, we are in Spain at the minute, Rotherham.
Yep.
And I'm thinking that's quite closest I'm probably going to get to international football for Rotherham.
Yeah.
I'm never going to watch him in Champions League, but if I did go, I get to watch him in Spain, which I see that as a positive now. But I just think the heat, it's probably because I'm a secret ginger and I'm thinking about me staying in this predicament.
The heat will prepare the players really well.
Yeah, I think at first I did say it is a waste of time.
Oh, changed Kieran's mind as well. Brilliant, 2 for 2.
No, I never answered mine. I played devil's advocate at the start.
Kieran, do Do you think
problem.
pre-season is a waste of time? Yes or no, Kieran?
No.
2 out of 2. Thank you very much. What's next?
No, you didn't change my mind though. I played. No, don't. No, I'm not having this.
Vote me for Prime Minister. Come on. What's next?
You did not change my mind. Okay.